Hello, fellow risk takers, and welcome to my worst investment ever, stories of loss to keep you winning. In our community, we know that to win in investing, you must take risk, but to win big, you've got to reduce it. My name's Andrew Stotz from A Stotz Investment Research, and I'm here with featured guest Bill Lewis. So this is the way the show kicks off, and I just want to tell you a bit about Bill's story. So remember, in my worst investment ever, we cover how to create, grow, and most importantly, protect your wealth. So let's get into Bill's story a bit, and you can hear the full story at the iTunes store for podcasts. So the name of the story is No Product Market Fit Before Making Any Financial Investment. Let's talk about Bill for a moment. He's got extensive background in providing enterprise solution and business transformation. He founded Linacre Digital Media, which aims to educate new entrepreneurs. He completed Harvard Business School's Advanced Management Program. He holds a master's in arts in financial control and business strategy from Lancaster University in the UK and is now also a teaching fellow there. He was a senior financial analyst at Forbes' European division, and he also worked for top corporations including KPMG and British Airways. He co-founded Temesis Communications, and for fun, he's into the Royal Yachting Association, and he's an ocean yachtsman, a PADI certified rescue scuba diver, and an accredited British Parachute Association formation diver. Well, quite an active guy. So let's talk about his story. Bill invested his own money and got some bank financing for his worst investment ever. He wanted to open the UK business of a US company that had a proven track record and fine products. It looked good. Now, from the start, sales growth was very slow as US trained staff had difficulty transferring skills to the new market. Now, the company eventually was bleeding cash at an alarming rate as sales targets were continually missed. After 9 to 10 months, business model wouldn't stand up. Stockpiles kept building up. And changes made to the business model failed to save his company, and eventually he ran out of cash. The bank took his house and other assets, bringing him close to bankruptcy. Sounds pretty painful and a worst investment. So when I asked Bill what he learned from this, he told me, if going into a new market segment or industry, do your homework and gain exposure to new conditions before you commit to an investment. Also, counterparties must have skin in the game to make sure that partners share some burden if things go wrong. And finally, there's absolutely no substitute for committed and loyal staff. So, when I looked at this, we talked about doing homework and getting hands-on exposure to a new model is crucial. Also, when a product that does well in one market is introduced to a different one, its success is hard to anticipate. That's a major lesson that Bill learned. So don't assume that it would. So what were my takeaways from it? Well, one of the great things that keeps people committed to committing themselves even when times are tough is that they have skin in the game. It's easier said than done to build a team of committed and loyal staff. It takes time, and sometimes investors and managers just don't have the time. And that's a summary of Bill's story of his worst investment ever. Just go to the link below and you can click and listen to that episode. And let me remind you that as we go through so many different interviews, I've brought it down to 6 common mistakes. I'll start with 6 and count down. A person invested in a startup company. Number 5 was they failed to monitor their investment. Number 4 was they misplaced trust. Number 3 is they were driven by emotion or flawed thinking. Number 2 was they failed to properly assess risk. And number 1, highest reason that people fail to lose their money is they fail to do their own research. Now there you have it. 6 ways you will lose your money. Be careful. Listen to our stories of loss to keep you winning.